V is the reference. Why here V is the reference? Because here the voltage is same for both the components, so we have taken V as reference. So for R component, the current flowing through the resistor will be in phase with the voltage, whereas the current flowing through the capacitor will be 90-degree leading to the capacitor. Okay, so what we are going to do is, this is IC and this is IR. So what we are going to do is, we are going to merge this phasor diagram and this phasor diagram, and we are going to find the overall phasor diagram. So that's how we will be finding the resultant current. So our V is like this, and our capacitor current is like this, and our resistor current is like this. It is in phase with the voltage. So now we are finding the resultant current. You do the vector addition, we will finding the resultant current, that is IR here. I, resultant current which is flowing here. So how we got this, that's what we are going to see. This is the theta angle. You know that for a capacitive circuit, the overall voltage will be lagging the resultant current by an angle theta. That is what this figure is showing, this phasor diagram is showing. So you know that I phasor is equal to IR phasor plus IC phasor. IR phasor is the current which is coming here. So the phasor is having a magnitude and an angle. So this IR can be given by V divided by R, and this IC can be written by V divided by XC. V divided by XC, that is along with the reactive component, that is J. So that is here. Okay, now now this V is common, so you take it outside. So we are once we take V as outside, we will be getting 1 by R plus J omega C. So this J, we have taken it to the numerator, so that is coming as J omega C. Now already we have seen yesterday, this Y is nothing but the admittance. So yes, in the yesterday's class, we saw about RL circuit, parallel RL circuit. So we got 1 by R plus 1 by J omega L as admittance. Here we are getting 1 by R plus J omega C as admittance. So now this admittance is a phasor, but as I told before, okay, we'll ask this question also. Tattipalli, Tattipalli.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me whether this Y phasor will rotate?
Rotate. Yes, sir. We have omega
Where
J omega C. It will rotate, sir.
Vivek,
Yes, sir.
whether this Y will rotate,
Sir,
Y phasor will rotate or not?
sir rotates, sir. J omega, sir, I think rotates, sir.
Like a phasor, I told that if it is a voltage phasor or current phasor, it will rotate. So I am asking whether this admittance phasor will rotate or not. Masra Begum,
Yes, sir.
can you answer to the question?
Yes, sir. It will not rotate, sir.
Sunil Ye,
Yes, sir.
Masra
It is
Begum
not
told
rotate,
that
sir.
it will not rotate. Can you justify
Yes,
that
sir.
answer?
Sir, because this have don't have a scientific function to rotate this phasor.
Then why we are mentioning it as a phasor? Why we are telling it as a phasor here?
Sir,
Okay, fine. Thank you. So see, here we don't have e per j omega t term for the admittance separately. So when you do not have e per j omega t term separately, then it will not rotate. This is the term which is responsible for the rotation. This is not separately available for this admittance. Then why we are mentioning it as phasor is, it is having a magnitude and an angle. This is fixed. Okay, this is fixed. So since it has both magnitude and an angle, we are mentioning it as a phasor, nothing else. That will not rotate. Okay, so this y is a magnitude that is given by root of 1 by r the whole square plus omega c the whole square. So this is for the magnitude, and the angle is tan inverse of omega c divided by 1 by r. Okay, so here this 1 by r, you can this r you can take it to the numerator, so we are getting tan inverse of omega c r. So the difference between RC circuit series and admittance circuit is, in series circuit we got z. Z is given by r plus omega c, this whole square you had got 1 by omega c whole square you got. Then you got tan inverse of 1 by omega cr. Okay, so here we are getting in the reciprocal of that. Okay, nothing else. So the current can be given by voltage into admittance. We have seen yesterday itself, V is equal to I into Z. So for series circuit, we get used Z, that is the impedance. So when you are taking to the right hand side, you will be getting V divided by Z is equal to I. So 1 by Z is nothing but admittance. So V into admittance is equal to current. Okay, so in that fashion, we have written this equation. I angle theta is equal to V angle 0 degree, admittance angle theta y. Okay, so in the multiplication, the angles can be added 0 plus theta y, V into y. The magnitudes are multiplied and the angles are added. So here you are getting V, and this is the y value we had obtained in the previous here. We have obtained y here, that we have substituted here. So here you can compare the magnitude and the angle. If you compare the magnitude I is equal to V into root of 1 by r the whole square plus omega c the whole square, and theta is equal to tan inverse of omega cr. Okay, so this is the magnitude of the this is the theta and this is the current. So this current is the resultant current, and this theta is the angle which it is deflected from the current. Okay, it's not actually deflected, you can call it as a displacement between the voltage and current. So now you take voltage as a reference because voltage is a common, so you can take that as a reference. So if you are taking the reference, then you can see that this angle is positive, so we have to move in the anti-clockwise direction. So when you are moving in the anti-clockwise direction, the I phasor is in this position. Okay, so here you can say that I is leading the voltage by certain angle, that is theta, or you can also say that the V is lagging the current by certain angle theta. Okay, so the point here to be noted is, irrespective of whether it is a series or RC circuit or parallel RC circuit, here you are going to have the current leading the voltage always by an angle theta. Okay, so if irrespective of series or parallel, if it is more capacitive, then the current will be leading. If it is more inductive, the current will be lagging. If it is a resistive circuit, the current will be in phase with the voltage. That's all. Okay, so if you want to represent in terms of current, so here you can see that here I had already drawn how to represent the current phasor diagram. So here you can write it as I phasor square is equal to root of IR phasor square plus root IC phasor square. Okay, from this right angle triangle, you can write this, so no issues. So similarly, theta also can be represented in terms of current. Okay, so the theta can be represented in terms of admittance, theta can be represented in terms of current. Similarly, theta can be represented in terms of voltage. Okay, so here what I'm saying is, here we are finding the theta. Till now, whenever we are finding theta, we had used the admittance parameter. So once we directly use the admittance parameter, we can get the value of theta. But you can also represent this in terms of voltage or current, because sometime your voltage and current can be given and you would be asked to find the theta. So in that case, you can find out the theta in this manner. If IC current and IR current is given directly, and if they are asking you to find the theta, then you can directly use this formula to find the theta. Similarly, for voltage, you can if the voltage is given and if they are asking you to find the theta, then you can find it out using similar kind of formula. Okay, but the thing is, here the voltage is same for all the elements. Okay, So the final one is parallel RLC circuit. In this parallel RLC circuit, we are having R, L, and C components. All are connected in parallel. The current flowing through the resistor is IR phasor. The current flowing through the inductor is IL phasor. And the current flowing through the capacitor is IC phasor. The current entering, that is a overall current which is entering, is I phasor. So if you apply KCL at this node, you know that I phasor is equal to IR phasor plus IL phasor plus IC phasor. So here we can represent the IR by V phasor divided by R, and IL phasor by V phasor divided by j omega L, and IC phasor as V phasor divided by 1 by j omega C. So this we have already seen in RL circuit. We have seen these two things, and in RC circuit we have seen these two. Okay, so all the things we are clubbing it in order to make the RLC circuit. So here from this we will be getting 1 by R. From here we will be getting 1 by j omega L. Here we will be getting 1 by 1 by j omega C. So here j omega C, you can take it to the numerator. So from this we will be getting V phasor into 1 by R plus minus j divided by omega L plus j omega C. So here we are getting, if you take j as common, we will be getting omega C minus j 1 by omega L. So the difference between series RLC and parallel RLC is, there you got R plus j omega C minus omega L minus 1 by omega C. This you got for series RLC. Here you are getting reciprocal of that. Nothing is the difference. There you mention it as a impedance. Here you are going to mention it as admittance. So this admittance is going to have its own magnitude and an angle. So we are going to mention it as a phasor. So this is going to have a magnitude that is given by 1 by R the whole square plus omega C minus 1 by omega L the whole square. So the angle can be given by imaginary part divided by the real part. The imaginary part is this, omega C minus 1 by omega L divided by 1 by R. So I phasor is given by V phasor into 1 by R whole square. This is plus. So what I have done here is, I have taken the R to the numerator. So the overall angle can be given by R into omega C minus 1 by omega L. So now you are having I phasor and the remaining things here. So you can put the RMS value with its angle. So you can find the I angle theta. So you represent it with I angle theta. So this V phasor is V angle 0 degree. So because we have considered Vm sin omega t, then we are getting this as magnitude and tan inverse of R into omega C minus 1 by omega L. So this you can compare the magnitude. This is the magnitude and this is the angle. Okay, so here you are having I and here you are having theta. Now the point is, depending on the value of this omega C and 1 by omega L, whether the current is leading or lagging with respect to the voltage, that we can find it out. Okay, so as per our previous knowledge, if the theta is positive, the circuit is more capacitive. If the theta is negative, the circuit is more inductive. Okay, so this is, if you take voltage as a reference, so the current phasor will be in phase with the current through the resistor will be in phase with the voltage phasor, and the current through the capacitor will be leading the voltage phasor by 90 degree. So this is 90 degree, this is IC, and the just a minute, yeah, the current through the inductor is lagging the voltage by 90 degree. So how we got this is, so individual elements, if you see, the voltage of the resistor and voltage across the resistor and current through the resistor will be in phase. For inductor, the voltage is here and the current will be lagging the inductor by 90 degree. So for the capacitor, your voltage is the reference and the current through the capacitor is leading the voltage by 90 degree. So if you're clubbing all these three, we'll be getting the phasor diagram. So we have got this phasor diagram. Depending on the parameter of omega C and omega L, we are going to define whether it is the resultant current will be in this fashion, or the resultant current will be in this fashion, or the resultant current will be in phase with the voltage. So whether the current will be leading the voltage or in phase with the voltage or lagging the voltage, it is going to be defined by this omega C and omega L. Okay, so we will see that if omega C is greater than 1 by omega L, it means that the circuit is more capacitive. So in that case, in that case, from this figure, if omega c is greater than 1 by omega L, then here the capacitive part will be higher. If the capacitive part will be higher, the overall current will be coming in this manner. Okay, so since capacitive part is higher, so IC and IL is an opposite manner. So the overall magnitude which is available here, this is IC minus IL. Then if you are finding the angle between that, you can have an angle between voltage and current, that is theta. Okay, so you can either mention this vector here, IC, or here, it does not matter. So here you are getting the overall current as leading the voltage, and the angle between the resultant current and the voltage is theta. Okay, so if you are writing the equation from the current, you can write it like this: I is equal to root of I square plus IC minus IL the whole square. So you can also find the theta based on current. So you can use this. Already we know what is VC. From the previous page we have found VC and all. So from that we can write it. Okay, so these things we can take it from the previous page. So you just substitute for IC, IL and IR. So depending on that, again we can find the theta. That value will always be positive, irrespective of whichever the formula you use or whichever the method you use. The current will be same for all the things. I mean, the theta will be same for all the things. So the conclusion is that when omega c is greater than 1 by omega L, the I will be leading the voltage by an angle theta, or in another way you can say that V lags I by theta. So that is the first case. In the second case, if omega c is lesser than 1 by omega L, so here we will be getting the inductive effect. So the current will be lagging the voltage by a certain angle. So if you consider IC in this part and IL in this side, so both are opposite to each other. So the overall current will be IC minus IL. So if it is IC minus IL, so since IL is greater than, here omega c is lesser than 1 by omega L, here the overall current will be on the downward direction. So now if you are doing the vector addition, so this is the vertical component and the horizontal component is IR. If you are doing the vector addition, the resultant will be somewhat like this, and this will be the resultant current. So this resultant current will be lagging the voltage by an angle, that is theta. Okay, so again this theta can be find it out using the same formula. So here tan inverse of R into omega c minus 1 by omega L, this will be negative in value because we had considered omega c is greater than 1 by omega L. So because of that, this overall value will be negative. It means that the I is in the negative part of V, means with respect to V, this is in the lagging condition. So that's why we are getting negative. Okay, so we can say that I is lagging the voltage by an angle theta, or V is leading the current by an angle theta. So this is behaving like an inductive circuit. So if it is behaving like an inductive circuit, we know that the current will always lags the voltage by an angle theta. And the third case is omega c is equal to 1 by omega L. So this inductive reactance and capacitive reactance will get cancelled out, or inductive current and capacitive current will get cancelled out. So we will be getting only the current of the resistor. Okay, so we will be getting the current that is equal to IR. So here the current will be in phase with the voltage. So if the voltage is like this, the current will be in phase with that. That is the current. Resultant current will be in phase with the resistive current. Okay, so this condition is called as resonant condition. This condition is called as resonant condition. So similarly in series RLC, what we got is we got V is equal to VR. Okay, this is for series RLC circuit. This is for series RLC circuit, and this is for parallel RLC circuit. So what it means is, in parallel RLC circuit, the resultant current will be equal to the current flowing through the resistor in parallel RLC circuit. In the series RLC circuit, the resultant voltage will be equal to the resistor voltage across the resistor. Okay, here the angle is 0. In series RLC circuit also, the angle between the voltage and current is 0, because you can tell that both are in phase in nature. So now this is called as resonant condition. This condition is having a wide application, and till now we have read something. We have read few things based on R, L, C, RL, RC, RLC. So this we have read it for series and parallel combination. Okay, actually we have started seeing about the formulas, and we have taken the circuit, and we have started solving it or started analyzing it. But why we are reading this? Can anyone answer why we are reading about this RL, RC, and RLC circuits? Are we using this anywhere? Or even series parallel RLC? We have started analyzing this, but are we using these kind of circuits anywhere in your day-to-day life? Can anyone answer? Are we using these kind of circuits in our day-to-day life? Mithilesh? Mithilesh? Satpadi? Sunil?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm, am I audible or not? Okay, Megawatt Sindhuja?
Yes, sir.
Are you using R, RL, or RC circuits daily in your life? Are you using it anywhere?
Sir, I don't know.
Anyone knows? Can you raise your hand? Okay, you can unmute yourself and you can answer. Faraz, Shahim,
Yes, sir.
are you using these kind of circuits anywhere?
Sir, I'm not sure exactly.
Mhm.
Sir, it is used in oscillator circuit and like in many communication devices.
That's all.
So no, sir, also used in voltage magnification and in producing heat.
Okay, fine. See,
There
consider
uses
that.
filters.
Yeah, I'm coming to the point. Thank you. So you are having a socket. From that socket, you are taking two wires, and from that, let's say you are using a heater. Okay, you'd be having this heaters, right? In winter season, you'll be having heaters. There, you would have seen one rod, and that rod is having one wire over it, right? So this is nothing but a resistive load. There, you are applying AC signal. Okay, so you can also call that this. Okay, you will consider that it is a resistive load. Yeah, a heater is a resistive load. So here the heat is dissipated based on I square R. Okay, so this is one thing. And if you're taking something like a fan, okay, something like a fan, if you are taking the overall circuit, you can consider like a inductive load. Okay, you can consider the fan in your home as an inductive load. It is based on some winding, then that is having a finite resistance, so you can consider your fan as a RL load. Okay, then if you are seeing about RL RC, so this is RLC actually. So RL RC and RLC, this RL RC, it's always you are using in most of the electronic devices. Okay, most of your electronic devices you will be using RL and RC. These things will be used as a filters. Okay, this is highly essential for you people, because in electronics you will be reading about low pass filter, high pass filter. Those are very much essential for you people. This RL RC circuits can be used as filters. So this application of RL and RL and RC for filters, that you will be reading in the next semester, I think. You will be reading Laplace transform, and you will be reading some other units where you can see how this RL and RC are used as the filters. So this each circuit can be operating as low pass or high pass filter. What it do you know what is the low pass filter?
Allows a lower frequency.
Yeah. So suppose if you're having a sinusoidal signal, let's say if you're having a sinusoidal signal, this sinusoidal signal can be having, let's say, 50 hertz to 100 hertz or 2000 hertz of signals. Okay, this single signal can be having 50 hertz plus 2000 hertz signal. Suppose if you want to remove the higher frequency signals, so you can use a low pass filter. Low pass filter will allow only the low frequency signals. So which frequency you need to see, that you will design it. So a low pass filter will allow only the low frequency signals, whereas the high pass filter will allow only the high frequency signals. So suppose if you say that you want to see only the signals which is less than 200 hertz. Okay, from this you want to see only the signals of which are less than 200 hertz, then you can design a low pass filter which will allow only till 200 hertz. Similarly, you can design a high pass filter where it will not allow any frequency less than 2000 hertz. Above 2000 hertz, whatever the frequency is there, if you want to see it, then you can go for high pass filter where it will allow only high frequency signals. So even though we said it as a RL, RC or RLC circuits, but these circuits, you are using it everywhere. Okay, this, even though we did not relate it with the real time, these circuits you are using in your day-to-day life in all the electrical equipment, irrespective of any electrical equipment you use, you are using it any one of these components. Okay, mostly you will be using RL. Okay, any type of load if you consider, you can represent in RL mostly. Okay, and all the electronic boards, if you see, always there will be resistor, always there will be inductor, always there will be capacitor. Okay, so why they use RLC is this L component will not allow sudden change in current, you know that. So for that, in order to reduce ripples in the current component, that they will be using inductor. Ripple means, suppose in, you know that in electronic devices you need a steady current, you will be using a DC current. Okay, you will be using mainly DC, that means direct current. So in electronic devices you need a DC, whereas you are having AC supply only. Okay, the input is AC, but you need a DC. For that, to convert from AC to DC, you need a rectifier. Okay, you know diode bridge rectifier, you would have seen it. Okay, so you would have seen the diode bridge rectifier results. So if this is the sinusoidal signal, your diode bridge rectifier output will be somewhat like this. Full bridge diode bridge rectifier. Have you seen like this? This is the input and this is the output. Have you seen diode bridge rectifier? I mean, have you studied diode bridge rectifier? In basic electronics, you would have studied, right? In 12th standard also, you would have studied. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here we are telling that DC signal, but you can see here that the value is going to zero at several instances, right? But for DC circuits, we should not get a value like this. We should be getting a constant DC. Okay, so if, see, actually you are getting a waveform like this. Actually, after rectification using a diode bridge rectifier, you are getting a waveform like this. Okay, so if you are getting a waveform like this is the voltage waveform. So if you are getting a waveform like this you don't give it to the electronic device because it will affect the power quality. So what do they do? You need a DC signal. So actually they want a signal somewhat like this. So what they do is, after the diode, if you are having a diode bridge rectifier here, after that they will be using a capacitor. After that they will be using a capacitor. This capacitor will not allow sudden change in current. If it does not allow sudden change in current, your voltage waveform will be somewhat like this. Okay, how it works, that it is a secondary thing. So the inductor will not allow sudden change in current. Here there is a sudden change in current from the capacitor will not allow sudden change in voltage. In this instance there is sudden change in voltage from maximum value to zero value. So what we are going to do is, we are going to design a capacitor that will not allow sudden change in current. So what happens to this capacitor is, the capacitor will start charging at this
Excuse me,
point.
sir.
Yeah.
So we have
Yes.
another class from 10.
Okay, I will complete now. Okay. So this capacitor will not allow sudden change in voltage. So because of that, in this period, it will be charging, and it will be very slowly, it will be discharging. Okay. So before it discharging, the next cycle will start, then it will be continuing. So for the next cycle also, it will be happening. Then it will be, this part will be a slight discharging kind, and this part is like charging kind. So you can consider this, in this part it is charging, after this it is discharging till here. Before it is discharging, the next cycle starts. So the immediately the next cycle starts here. So the capacitor will be started charging at this point, and it will be discharging till this. So it will be happening continuously. If you are seeing all together, it will be looking like a steady DC signal, even though there is a slight variation, but they will be having the variation in a lesser magnitude. This they will be calling it as a ripples. Okay, ripples means how much it is deviating from the actual value, so that they will be saying it as a ripple. Okay, so if you want to reduce the voltage ripple, then that to reduce the voltage ripple, they will be using the inductor. In order to reduce the current ripple, they will be using the for reducing the current ripple, they will be using the inductor, and for reducing the voltage ripple, they will be using the capacitor. Because the inductor will not allow sudden change in current, so they are using to reduce the current ripple, where the capacitor will not allow sudden change in current, that they are using it for reducing the voltage ripple. Okay, capacitor will not allow sudden change in voltage, so they are using it for reducing the voltage ripple. Okay, so I end this here. If you want to ask anything, you can ask, else you can leave the meeting. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank